Hello, podcast listeners. In this episode of JJ Meets World, we're going to play a fun game called Movie Baseball, and then Tucker and I are going to break down really what it's like to be a server in America and Tucker's feelings on the current state of fast food. And by the way, if you'd like to help support our podcast, visit jjmeetsworld.com where you can donate to our Patreon, pick up some killer swag at our merch shop, or click the link to Apple Podcast and give us a 5-star review.
1, 2, 3, 4. J.J. Gordon, sort of like that Indiana Jones, in that he's always sniffing out his next adventure. Yes, he is. He's always interviewing guests so he can have them on his show and they can talk about pop culture, arts, and leisure. J.J. has his flag unfurled and he likes his french fries curled, and he's fun and then he twirled as he goes to meet the world. He will march into the rain even if his ankle sprained. Take a peek inside his brain. This podcast is called JJ Meets World.
I just got done with a road trip. I just got done driving back from the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, who says the Twins can't play ball. You ever heard that before?
I think so.
It was something my dad used to say all the time, and I never really got it.
I mean, my mom's side of the family is a Twins family, and so I probably heard it, just I'm not remembering it right now. But
so when they heard like the Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Twins is coming out, they're like, they're making a movie about the Twins? Nice.
It triggers them,
and they were
yeah.
disappointed. On the first leg of the journey from Minneapolis to Alexandria. So for those of you who outside the listening audience, or for those of you who are outside the region in our listening audience, Fargo to Minneapolis, St. Paul essentially has one middle point, and it's Alexandria, Minnesota. And I think it's just a little bit further than halfway if you're going to the cities. And so the drive from Eden Prairie to Alexandria felt like it took an eternity. I swear at one point it said 28 miles, and then I looked at it again, it said 29 miles. Like it was adding time. And Jill and I stopped, and I filled up with gas and got some Twizzlers because they're a go-to road trip snack for me.
do you drink them through them like straws?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I have before. That's not unheard of for me.
Sure.
But for this, I just need something that like I can put on the dashboard and can be a little consistent and isn't going to give me like giant gut rot and isn't going to melt and give me those like awful feel. You know, like when you touch a candy bar and you left it there too long and you're like, no.
Right. It has some give and you're like, oh, this is ruined.
Right. So we played a movie game going back, and I'd like to play a little bit of that with you now.
Cool.
Now, for those of you who don't know, my wife and I are a real Romeo and Juliet type story because when we first started courting, I worked for a local video store. She worked for a chain video store. Real Montagues and Capulets.
So which were you then? You'd be the
Montagues, because I mean that's Romeo's family, right?
I believe so.
I mean, so we'll just go boy, girl,
Sure.
you know, type deal.
Well, I'm thinking more or less the economic status. I wasn't sure if there was any difference there, but they're both wealthy families, actually.
Right? Yeah. They're both well-to-do in the town of Verona. I mean, if you want to get into a little, I could be, I'd be the Meg Ryan to her Tom Hanks, and you've got mail.
Got it.
Fox Books is the national name.
Gotcha.
And it's a very simple movie game. And so because of the fact that we worked at video stores, and not only that, but we've loved movies, you know, you build up this sort of notebook in your mind of movies that you love and actors and actresses and directors that, you know, have a special spot with you.
You've told the story a number of times of you guys going for a walk and you seeing some kid pushing up a log or something and her saying a line from Heavyweights.
Yeah.
Right?
Come on, you devil log.
So even just in your little conversations and moments, you were having cross references of movies.
Right. So the game is called Movie Volleyball, and it couldn't be any more simple. Okay. I will name an actor or actress, and you name a movie. And then I name a movie, and we go back and forth, like a movie that they are in, obviously.
Got it.
Until one of us can't do it, and then the other person gets the point.
How much time do you have to answer?
I mean, since you play this in the car, you really, you know, you don't really take it, but we'll say like we'll give you 15 seconds.
Okay,
right?
so just kind of an understanding of how much time you have.
So the idea is that immediately you should start banking stuff in your mind, right?
Right.
So I'll even give you the courtesy of you can choose an actor or actress to start with.
And are we sticking with theatrically released films?
Correct. TV movies, television shows, those do not count.
Those don't count.
Yeah, we're talking about the theatrical released films. Because really then you could say like Tales from the Crypt, because everyone was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Got it. Okay, so are you ready?
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell.
Oh, we did Sam Rockwell.
Right, this is just to get it going.
Yeah,
Just to get it going.
Yeah. Welcome to Collinwood.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Charlie's Angels.
Moon?
Yeah, correct. The bad guys.
Oh, Iron Man 2.
Matchstick Men. I feel bad because I literally just did this.
Yeah,
Like he was like our last one.
You get the point. You get the point.
Okay, so I'll take a point on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I suspect you're going to beat me at this, but I'm going to give it my all.
See, here's the thing. You had a lot right off the bat.
Sure.
So that felt pretty good.
Sure.
Let's go with, this is really the like gold standard. This sets the bar.
I think
We'll
I need
say
to close my eyes like encyclopedia style.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see if it helps me concentrate.
Mr. Tom Hanks.
Oh, Forrest Gump.
A League of Their Own.
Saving Private Ryan.
Philadelphia.
The Green Mile.
Bachelor Party.
Joe versus the Volcano.
Volunteers.
Big.
Splash.
Catch Me If You Can.
Punchline.
Oh, That Thing You Do.
Polar Express. Oh, he's got one. He's holding on to it. By the way, no editing is going into this. So the pauses you're hearing are the true pauses of two gentlemen taking this on.
I've lost. I can't. There was one. It's him and Halle Berry.
Yes, Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas. Damn it. That's what I was trying to grab for.
We also, Larry Crown, Road to Perdition, Toy Story 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Apollo 13 we didn't even get to, right?
Yeah.
But Joe versus the Volcano, thanks for putting that one on the
You're
list.
welcome.
I really appreciate it.
my brain was like filing through. And obviously there's ones you're going to miss, but
The way I've played it before too in the car is if you, let's say we're on like our 6th round, you can score bonus points by saying a movie that one of the other people you've already done is in. So let's say like we're playing Gary Oldman, right? And we say Bram Stoker's Dracula for him, and then we do Keanu Reeves later on, and you're able to go back to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Got it.
You score an extra, like a bonus point on that type of thing.
Okay.
Okay, so back to you.
Who do I want to go with?
Because you try and think of like, who do I have like a special affinity for,
Bill
right?
Cosby.
Okay. Let's see. Ghost Dad.
Leonard Part 6.
Mother Jugs and Speed. Which starts out with a song going cocaine.
Meteor Man.
Oh, that's a good one. Bill Cosby, Bill Cosby, Bill Cosby, Bill Cosby, Bill Cosby, Bill Cosby, Bill Cosby. I don't have another Bill Cosby.
Did I get one?
You got
I got
one.
a point.
You got one.
1 versus 2.
Did you have anything else in the tank?
I was going for it. I was like, oh, I know there's more, but what is out there?
I feel like that guy gave up on his movie career. Thank God.
Yeah.
Because, as we get further and further into this world of Me Too, it's really hard for me to like say goodbye to some titles of people who turned out to be garbage human beings.
Right.
Even though I know you say, like hate the jerk, love the work, but like I can't watch Ghost Dad.
When they're that evil,
Right.
It's
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
It's like, yep, I'm done. Checked out.
hard to watch at that point. He must have some more movies, right? He must have done
He
some
definitely
stuff.
does. I'm not recalling them at the moment. Well, okay. The remake of Fat Albert.
Was he in it
Yep,
though?
he was in it. Yep,
He had a
he had a
part?
cameo where he meets Fat Albert. They go to his house. Meteor Man was a deep dive because he's a homeless man in that, I believe.
Yeah.
He's like living in an alleyway,
Uh-huh.
and at one point actually gets a meteor and gets a little bit of power at some point. I believe
For him?
I believe
That's
so.
nice.
I believe he does, if I'm remembering it correctly.
Meteor Man's one of those movies where, like, do you remember Blank Man?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for a while, they were like, hey, we're going to take the idea of a superhero movie and we're going to do something different with it. And then audiences were saying, like, no, thank you.
I really loved Meteor Man as a kid.
Did you really?
I did. I was huge into Meteor Man.
That shot of the meteor coming down and he's running down the alley, like, no.
Yeah. And then it like kind of goes into his body or something. No, because I love superheroes, and that was a superhero movie. And at that moment, all I had seen was Ninja Turtles in like the first Batman, I think. And so, to me, it was a superhero. He was awesome. And then when I made my own team of superheroes, when I wrote my first comic book, I
Yeah?
just stole the premise of Meteor Man and said they all got hit by meteors and they got superpowers that way.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Loved me some Meteor Man. I even remember after seeing the movie with Matt McCroskey, my buddy, our parents brought us to McDonald's, and he wanted to be Superman and I wanted to be Meteor Man. And so that's what we did. We played those two characters. Like in the play place at the McDonald's.
nice.
So I remember that distinctly. Yeah. Because I was looking for a celebrity that was like, okay, who's someone that might actually be a little bit difficult, right? So yeah, I guess it's your turn.
Anthony Hopkins.
Silence of the Lambs.
Hannibal.
Surviving Picasso? Is that the name of it? He plays Picasso in a movie.
Surviving Picasso.
Manhunter.
No.
Red Dragon. Damn it.
Yeah. I was gonna be like, oh.
That's Red Dragon.
Remains of the Day.
Did you already say Hannibal? Hannibal.
Yes,
you did
I
already
said
say Hannibal?
Yep.
What's the one where he's playing C.S. Lewis? Shit.
Oh God, you got some good ones you're pulling out of there.
I was a big Anthony Hopkins fan for a minute. Oh, Meet Joe Black.
Fracture.
There's one with Atlantis in the title that Stephen King wrote.
Yep. I know that one.
What the fuck is it called?
I can see the cover is him like in a blue background and he's kind of reaching towards you.
Oh, what's the one of the Fastest Indian? Is that the motorcycle one? There we go. Fastest Indian.
Titus.
God damn it. Oh, Thor.
Oh, Hearts of Atlantis.
Thor: The Dark World.
Bad Company.
Thor: Ragnarok.
He's done a ton of Shakespeare, I know, but I couldn't tell you which ones right off the top of my head. He is also in Magic, where he's a ventriloquist.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, and he plays the role of Van Helsing, correct?
Does that give me 2 points if I win?
If you win, yeah. I would say Sir Anthony Hopkins also had a great role in Two Popes.
Shadowlands. That's the one about C.S. Lewis.
Oh, Did I say Hearts of Atlantis?
You never did. I tried to figure out the name of it.
That's the one you're thinking of, Hearts of Atlantis.
Yeah.
Now, if I was playing this with someone who's like really into movies and they're a total jerk, they're like, pre and post, sir.
Wolfman.
Oh, that movie was so bad.
I'm going to the really bad movies now.
God, okay. Because he's made some crap, right?
Those are the ones where you can tell he didn't memorize anything and he's just phoning it in. But it's Anthony Hopkins, so
Right.
you're going to do it.
And Benicio del Toro in that. Why did that one have to be so bad? What about, were there any sexy Anthony Hopkins movies where Anthony Hopkins was sexy?
The Picasso one, he's with multiple women and they're fighting over him and stuff.
Oh, really? Is he shirtless? Does he have like a billowy shirt on in that one
I
at all?
remember him just dressing like kind of Picasso. He's shown some sizzle.
And I can't think of any animated movies where he's done the voice of something either, which is too bad because I feel like he's got a nice deep voice. I'm gonna have to give up on this one. I don't think I've got another Anthony Hopkins movie.
But because Bram Stoker didn't get me the win, or is it because I did it?
Yeah, whoever names the last one, that's it. So whoever can't volley back, it's just like volleyball.
Right,
Whoever
but I'm not
can't-
getting a second point because I used Bram Stoker, right?
right,
In that
yeah,
one,
yeah,
right?
correct.
It'd have to be the one that tripped you up.
Right. No. You would technically you'd get that if we do. We want to play with that? Do we want to add that?
I thought that's what you were saying.
Oh, I just say like by the time you get 5 or 6. But no, I love
Got
it
because
okay.
if we are, then we're at 3 and 2.
Okay, yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
we're tied for 2 and 2.
No, I love that. 3 Tucker, 2 JJ.
Okay.
And it's your actor or actress choice.
Please give me a moment here to think about this.
So he's thinking because he wants it to be loaded, right? He wants it to be something where he's got 7 or 8 that he can name right off the bat and be like, "Ooh, look at this! Boom, 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 boom." But then what happens if I show up and
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Okay. Scream 2.
The Matrix.
Was she in the first one?
Mhm.
So Matrix Revolutions?
Matrix Reloaded.
Jada Pinkett. Oh, snap. Girls Trip.
Trying to remember what the 4th Matrix is called because she's in that too. The one that I just watched. The fuck is it called? Shit. She's not really much else because she's not a good actor.
I got to come up. I see in my mind, I got to start thinking about
What is it
other
fucking
ones.
called? The Matrix? What is it called? God damn it. I thought I was being all smart here.
By the way, that fourth Matrix movie. Oof.
No. Yeah. Oof.
Bad stuff.
Not needed. Shit. I think I just lost on my. I think I was hoisted on my own petard with this one. Yeah. I think you win. So we're at 3 and 3.
Was it Matrix? Not Revisited. Matrix.
It's not
Reloaded. Not Reloaded.
Reloaded was number 2, I thought.
Yeah.
And then Revolution was number 3.
Uh-huh.
There's people just screaming at the podcast.
And that's
right
what
now.
I think is going to be fun. Is there are people like, how could you forget blank?
I just watched it like a few months ago, and I was like, meh. So I think that's part of why I'm not securing it in my mind. So we're 3 and 3 right now.
I think she's got some other stuff too, but
She
I can't
probably
think of what it
does.
is.
I'm sure she
Okay,
does.
how about this? Let's just swap right over to her slap happy husband, Will Smith.
Okay, Hitch.
Wild Wild West.
Men in Black.
Men in Black 2.
Men in Black 3.
Will Smith plays Happiness.
The Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, that's what it is, Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I won't take that one because I didn't get that right. Happiness is a way different movie
It
that
is.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's
Yep,
in.
yep.
Do not get those confused if you're
Yep.
watching with your kids. Okay, so I'll give you a point on that. So 4-3 now. Yeah, because if you say something that's incorrect too, it's like a forfeiture.
Didn't I kind of do that already myself, though? A
With
couple
what?
times? Like, I thought I was like, isn't the title for this one XYZ or something? And I got it wrong.
You tried like Atlantis, but you didn't get all the way, so I took that one from you.
Oh, got
But
it. Okay.
I don't think you've misconstrued a title yet.
Okay, so 4 and 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
And we missed a lot of Will Smith movies.
Oh, there's
so many.
so many Will Smith movies. That's one of the funny
I
things
also
about
love that
this.
you started off with Hitch
That's the one
because
that
you're such a
came.
Kevin James
That's
fan.
the one that came to my head. And actually, I have a memory about Hitch because it came out at the same time that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy came out. And me and Brad Delzer and
Did
Matthew.
you say that for Sam Rockwell?
No, I didn't.
Oh, missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity. And me, Brad Delzer, and Matt Burkholder went to Hitchhiker's Guide for the Galaxy, and Brad looked up the movie time and on the time for Hitch instead of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So we missed the opening scene with all the dolphins saying, goodbye and thank you for the fish, right?
Oh, that
And so
sucks.
I think that's what brought it up right away in my head. But I mean, there's too many Will Smith movies, and that's funny about this game is that there's like 100 or so,
Right.
and that you've seen a lot of them.
We
but-
didn't even say King Richard. I started off with the slap comment.
Right.
We never even got to the one that got him the Academy Award.
Right. I mean, Hancock.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, okay, so it's my turn now.
Yeah, your turn to pick. 4-3. I love video. I love like stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. What is the final point? First person to get to what point?
To 10 usually
To
is
10?
what we go.
Okay.
We won't have to do all of that. I mean, we could if we want to.
Mark Ruffalo.
Son of a bitch. Okay, let's go with it. The Avengers.
Avengers 2, Age of Ultron.
Avengers Endgame.
Avengers Infinity War.
Other Ruffalo related stuff. What's the one where he's a ghost in Reese Witherspoon's apartment? The Ruffa Ghost? That can't be the title of it. Mark Ruffalo plays a ruffian. What's another appearance of Hulk in the MCU? He's got to have at least another. Thor Ragnarok.
Iron Man 3.
Mm.
He's in the Easter egg.
What about come on, Mark Ruffalo, other roles? He's grizzled and he might be a scientist in this as well too. Mark Ruffalo in The Kids Are All Right.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Son of a bitch. Gal. You got a couple more in you so that the second I say
I got
something.
another one.
See, that is the kind of fun of this too, right? You watch me struggling and like you
'Cause it
got
gives you
another
time
one.
to think.
Yeah. It's not Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. What the frig is the name of that thing? God, it was so bad and stupid. John Heater is in it, and he's bad and stupid in it. Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo is in. I don't have anything.
We were looking for Zodiac.
Oh,
which you and I watched together in Albuquerque.
after we ate at a delightful Brazilian grill.
That's right. And the night before, I threw up all over like the outside
right.
of a restaurant.
Oh man,
So
there's got to be way more. We only talked about Ruffalo from like
Right.
the like early 2000s on, and
Right.
he had way more stuff than
So
that.
are we 5 and 3?
5 and 3. Okay.
Your turn.
Well, let's do an actress this time. Let's go with Gina Davis.
Oh, Bound. Which her and Jennifer.
Gina Davis?
Her and Jennifer Tilly. Isn't that her?
That's Gina Gershon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Who's
in
Gina
Bound.
Davis?
Gina Davis is the main gal in A League of Their Own.
I just lost
Yeah.
a point.
I
I
mean,
have
you-
nothing for her.
Nothing?
I
Nothing?
can tell you right now.
Cutthroat Island, Hero,
I haven't seen those.
Angie,
I haven't seen those.
Earth Girls Are Easy,
Haven't seen it.
Tootsie.
I've seen that.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know she was in it. But this is years ago that I've seen it.
Yeah.
And Tootsie would not fly today.
No, you don't think so?
Straight up wouldn't
They
fly.
just turned it into a Broadway musical.
Yeah, I thought Gina Gershon. That's what I went to straight away. Oops.
I'd follow that up with Showgirls.
That was the other one that came into my head, but I was
Yeah.
like, is she in Showgirls? I think, but I'm not sure. And then I thought, well, I'm confident she's in Bound.
Uh-huh.
But no. Nope.
Okay, so 4-5 now.
Okay.
That's my big comeback.
It's my turn now.
I've also played this too where I'm like, this person's not going to know. Like, I'll be like, Charles Grodin. And the other person like names, you know, like, oh, this and this and this and this and this. And I'm like, son of a bee.
I'm blanking here, so I'm just going to Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly, good move. The Bride of Chucky.
Bound.
House Arrest.
Liar, liar.
The Seed of Chucky.
Bullets Over Broadway.
Oh, that's a good one she's in. That's a really
She
good
was
one.
nominated for Academy Award for that one.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer Tilly is in. Oh no, I'm not. How confident am I that she's in Dancing at the Blue Iguana? I'm not confident.
I actually wouldn't even be able to confirm that one.
I know Daryl Hannah's in that one. It's Patrick Swayze's last movie, but Jennifer Tilly with that little baby voice of hers. Why did I use House Arrest so early? That would have been a good one to keep in my pocket. Okay, wait. No, hold on. In that movie, she's also with somebody else. I'm like, oh, I wonder if they ever acted in anything else together. Jennifer Tilly, and not Wallace Shawn, not Kevin Pollak, Jamie Lee Curtis. Nope. Do you have another one?
Yeah, I had two more because I think you said Bride of Chucky.
Yeah.
I was going to say Seed of Chucky.
I said Seed of Chucky.
Oh, you
as
said
well.
Seed of
Yeah.
Chucky. Okay, I was just going to Cult of Chucky as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think that might be the most recent one from the creator himself because
Yeah.
there's the other Chucky that's not run but made by the creator. Okay. So what are we at?
Okay, so that's 6
And 4?
4.
Okay.
6-4. Stanley Tucci.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
The Devil Wears Prada.
Margin Call.
Julie Julia.
God damn it. I was going to do that one.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
He's been in so many.
Oh, I got a deep cut.
Damn
Two deep cuts.
I can already tell you're probably going to get this point. You already said Devil Wears Prada.
Here comes a third.
That's some real mental warfare you're playing on me right now. Like, I'm like going to overcome
flashing
3.
Hope you don't take them from me.
I just watched a scene of his that was incredibly disturbing.
what?
Lovely Bones.
That's okay. So you took one of my 4 because I had. How about this? Beethoven.
God
Yep,
damn it.
He's one of
That
the
is
thugs.
such a deep cut. He's not in Baby's Day Out, is he?
No, he's not one of the
He's
gangsters.
not one of the gangsters
No,
in
nuh-uh.
that.
But that's a good idea. It's Joey Pants.
Joey Pants. That's what I'm thinking of.
I just saw his biography was sitting on a shelf for $2.99 at Half Price Books over the weekend. I almost picked it up, but I'm like, if this is an audiobook, I want to listen to Joey Pants.
You're getting this point.
Okay.
I'm struggling to find another title to come to the top of my head.
Here's another one. starring Pauly Shore, Jury Duty.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Okay, he's the villain in that. Transformers: The Last Night. He plays Merlin, believe it or not. And then another one of my favorites, The Core.
Okay.
Where because of an electromagnetic pulse experiment, we stopped the Earth's core from spinning. So Hilary Swank and Tom Jane have to drive this vehicle to the core of the Earth and let off a bunch of atomic bombs. He's great in that one. Okay.
6 and 5 then, huh? You've got 5, I got 6.
Yep. Okay. So this is good. Okay. Now to you. Also, if you're playing along right now and we've forgotten stuff, make sure to send us a really just mean email about how your favorite movie of all time is a Stanley Tucci movie that we didn't mention right off the bat. So clearly we're troglodytes.
All right, Harrison Ford.
Air Force One.
Blade Runner.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Star Wars: A New Hope.
Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Empire Strikes Back.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Return of the Jedi.
Indiana Jones and the Lost Ark.
Star Wars of the Force Awakens.
Morning News.
Air Force One.
I already said that.
Oh, you did already say that?
Yep.
Shit. American Graffiti.
Firewall.
Oh, shit. What's the one where he jumps off the waterfall? He's looking for the man with the wooden leg.
Oh yeah.
The fuck is that called?
That's a good one.
The fuck is that called? He's parodying The Simpsons with Milhouse.
I think you mean The Simpsons parodies that.
Yeah, that's what I said. Isn't that what
no, you said he's parodying The Simpsons.
No, I thought I said The Simpsons parodied that with Milhouse.
No, you said he's parodying.
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry. My bad.
But wouldn't it be amazing if they were parodying The Simpsons?
God damn.
I didn't kill my wife.
I know.
I don't care.
I know that's the one. The Fugitive.
Nice.
There we go.
What Lies Beneath?
I'm trying to remember that fucking one with the dog that just came out where it says CG dog.
Oh God, that was awful.
I mean, I can never watch that film.
When I bought my DVD player, I got a Harrison Ford movie. I got 5 free DVDs, and one of them was a Harrison Ford movie we haven't said yet.
God damn. Digging through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Blade Runner 2047.
Oh, there you go. 6 Days, 7 Nights. I like the ones where he plays someone age appropriate. Like, I feel like Air Force One was him saying, like, listen, I'm not the young fatherless guy anymore. I'm this awesome, like, older version.
Right. He's got something with Michelle Pfeiffer I'm trying to grab the name of.
That's the one that I did.
Oh, you already did that one? Okay. And I already said American Graffiti.
Which is an excellent pull, by the way.
It took some digging.
If you haven't seen American Graffiti, you absolutely should. Great cars, the soundtrack out of this world. George Lucas produced.
I have to give you this point.
Nice.
I can't pull it up. I'm struggling, and I can tell I'm just going to keep struggling. So we're tied 6 and 6.
And let me think. Okay, so you got all 4 appearances in Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Wondering if there's anything else that I'm missing that he had that has come out in the not too distant future. I don't think that there is.
What is the one with him and the dog? The CG dog.
It is called Call of the Wild.
Okay.
Just awful.
Looks terrible.
Just horrible. In fact, there's a funny story that previous guest Kevin Kennedy has told about seeing Gary Paulson live. And Gary Paulson starts off his speech with, like, Jack Kerouac's full of shit. He's never spent a day outdoors in his life. Okay. Sandra Bullock.
Oh,
And we're tied now, right? 6-6?
Yeah, Miss Congeniality.
Miss Congeniality 2, Armed and Fabulous. And I will be a stickler on those, like, subtitle, like, titles on some of these.
28 Days Later? No, that's the zombie one.
Yeah,
I just lost.
No. I mean, like, you stopped on. You didn't. It's not like you final answer hit the button. So do you want to amend that?
I mean, I've got a bunch of movies in my head that I'm not recalling any of the names for.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh fuck, there's that one with her and is she in the no. What's the one with her and Keanu Reeves in the fucking lake cabin?
The Lake House.
God damn it. Well, now I just give you
Also,
the point.
what about Speed? Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Damn it. Yeah.
All About Steve.
You're right.
Demolition Man.
What's the one?
Net.
What's the
Fire
one
on
with
the Amazon?
her and Ben Affleck?
Forces of Nature.
Forces of Nature. That was what I was trying to get.
You worked at a video store too. Why didn't I intro with this as saying that too? You actually worked at 2 different video stores.
I worked at 2 different stores, but I haven't worked in video as long as you did, and B, I don't see nearly as many movies as you have, and I'll never catch up to you because you've just seen way more than I have.
Spent a lot of time not having friends.
Well, but you also just it's like it feels you, right? Like you're someone who's like, if I haven't watched a movie in a couple of days, I'm like feeling left out,
right?
And I go through phases where I want to watch movies and then I don't want to watch movies. I just don't want to sit down and give the time for it. So, I mean, but one thing I'm doing is, I've just I keep working on my VHS shelves at home.
You do,
and so
looking at that cover art is going to give you a leg up on this.
So I keep trying to like play through my head. What do I have on the shelf? Because I look at it every day and rearrange stuff and move stuff around. So, so you are now in the lead.
I took it to 7.
7 to 6. What's one you're going to struggle with that I think you're going to struggle with?
The thing is I also, like, every time I went to the Mall of America, ate at Planet Hollywood. In fact, when I was with a bunch of kids on a foreign exchange tour in France and in Paris, we ate at the Planet Hollywood in Paris. It was the first time I ever saw a real live gremlin puppet.
Peter Sellers.
Peter Sellers. Now, you got to be careful because he's not in all of the Pink Panther movies. So I'm just going to say the Pink Panther.
Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
The Return of the Pink Panther.
Damn it. I've got one. I see it.
What are you seeing?
Peter
cover
Sellers.
Art? Are you seeing the cover
I'm
art?
seeing Peter Sellers.
Oh,
No,
you're
I've
just seeing
seen
Peter
scenes
Sellers?
with him in it. Lolita.
Ooh.
There you go.
Being There.
God damn it.
And no, you can't say the Jeffrey Rush movie where he plays Peter Sellers because that would be a real crap out on this one.
That's not in the spirit of what we're doing.
Inspired by Peter Sellers and his mom.
I wish I knew more. I wish I knew more
Goals.
Pink Panther titles off the top of my head because you took
know.
the 2 that I know. Was the James Bond parody? The fuck
I know.
was that called?
In my mind, I'm like, is this the title of it?
What
but
is that
I've
called?
got it somewhere.
What is that called? Sort of considered like an unofficial James Bond movie. Like predates Austin Powers. It's like a parody.
In fact, if you ever see the movie Being Peter Sellers, it's really sad because he wanted to make a serious like Bond type film, and they're like, no, like you step into the fountain here, and he was so angry.
And you said the Pink Panther and the Pink Panther
Returns. I think the problem with the Pink Panther series is I also want to give them the same kind of subtitles as the Ernest movies. So like there's Ernest Rides Again, but I'm like, but is it the Pink Panther Rides Again? I don't think it is.
Right. I almost said the Pink Panther Strikes Back. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not a title. I'm pretty sure that's definitely not one of the
George
ones.
Lucas opens a pair like, I got a great idea for another movie.
I'm just barely hanging on here.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I got one, but
Peter Sellers is a good one because every role that he had was iconic, right? Like it was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I knew Being There. Have you ever seen the cover art for Being There where he's dressed in kind of like turn of the century garb and he's like 6 feet above the ground and he's walking away from where you are and it's almost like he's walking to heaven.
Yeah.
Great
one of the
cover
things
art.
that I wish I could say Dr. Strangelove 3 times because he plays 3 different characters in that film, but I have to give this point to you as well.
Manville.
Yeah.
I love the way that the
Gentlemen,
Colonel,
you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
The way that Colonel talks with that cigar in his mouth, like it must have been horrible, like take after take. Okay.
I love the opening gag in the Pink Panther where he spins the globe and then tries to lean on it and falls down. That's like, that is the one moment I'll revisit from the Pink Panther movies back then.
To me, it's the one from what's the one? Is it the Pink Panther Returns where he goes to the nudist colony and he uses the giant guitar to hide himself? I mean, it's such a clever gag where they're hiding all the nudity in different ways.
And then he has his manservant attacking him from time to time,
Yes.
right? And
It's the one where he shows up and he goes, "Hello, I am the telephone repairman."
Yep.
They're like, "Do you need anything?" "All I need is my little bag of tools and your telephone card." He's like, "I sure you can't get you something?" No. I have my little bag of
Yep.
tools and your telephone card."
I hear you have a message for me.
Remember when we went and saw the Pink Panther with Steve Martin?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Remember, the one funny part was Clive Owen doing a James Bond bit.
Right.
We laughed out loud at that moment. Everything else was god awful. Do you remember when I sent you the link to the red carpet premiere photos of him?
Yes.
And he looked so just dejected.
And yet he still does a second one.
Because the money was there.
I guess.
Because the money was there, man.
But really, if you're Steve Martin, like, I know he went on that spree of buying Picassos, but did you really need more stuff?
I don't know.
Steve Martin. Hey, speaking of Steve Martin,
The Pink Panther.
the Pink Panther 2.
Is it Rock? No, what's the one where he's doing Cyrano?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Roxette? No.
You're close.
Roxanne?
There you go. Bringing Down the House with Queen Latifah, Eugene Levy, surprisingly good.
Father of the Bride.
Novocaine.
Father of the Bride Part 2.
Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
Little Shop of Horrors.
The Jerk.
The Three Amigos.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Is it Quiz Show? No, what's the one where he's...
Ooh, that's a good movie, though, just in general.
That's not... I think he also has a movie with... I don't want to say these things because then you'll pick them up and then you'll use them. Tricky. You already said...
that might be how I play the man,
Yeah,
not
no
the
kidding.
game.
Yeah,
so
no kidding.
just so you know, I'm
No,
glad you got to this point.
I finally figured it out. Yeah, and you already said The Jerk. And you already said Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. There's so many. I'm just trying to...
I've got one.
I have a partial title, but it's probably wrong, and I'll probably lose the point here if I use it, and I'm trying to not use it. Is it Moonstruck?
I don't
I think I'm
he's
getting
in-
that wrong.
I mean, that's I don't think he's in Moonstruck. It's a Cher movie with Nicolas Cage, I think. is in
Yeah, I
Moonstruck.
think you're right. I think I'm wrong. There's a movie cover that I'm seeing in my head with him with a moon behind him.
Yeah, and he's like a sparkly coat on. That one?
No, I think he's like bending over and tipping his hat or something, but I'm probably confusing a few different things.
Is that? I think that's L.A. Story.
At what point do we go to IMDb and just look?
I mean, after the whole thing's
Yeah.
done, because it could also give you something for other things too. I'm pretty sure you're thinking of L.A. Story.
Okay. Well, I've lost the point.
yeah.
So
The Man with Two Brains. Do you ever see that with Lily Tomlin?
So I'm
Like,
still
that
at
was a good one.
6 and you're at 9.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, you're crushing.
So this
Yeah,
is
you're-
this is for the W.
Yep.
But you're gonna take this, so you're on the next suggestion.
All right. Well, now I really got to think. Now I
Don't say John Candy.
I'm clearly
Right?
not
You
going
know?
to say John Candy.
And it would be bold to say even Martin Short or Catherine O'Hara.
I know these. I mean, SCTV people I got to stay completely away from. There's just no way I can go. In fact, if I can stay away from comedy in general,
Yeah,
is going to be a good.
I mean Peter Sellers was an excellent pick. Skin of my teeth on that one, which is a weird. Why do we use that saying "skin of my teeth"? I don't think of teeth as having skin on them. It's got enamel. I know because I choose a mouthwash that helps protect the enamel on my teeth.
Bela Lugosi.
Holy shit. Okay. Bela Lugosi. I'm going to go with Dracula.
White Zombie.
What's Plan 9 from Outer
You
Space.
picked the one I was wanting to
Oh
get.
my god.
Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Does he play Frankenstein in that?
No, he plays Dracula because
Dracula?
it's all of the Hollywood movie monsters.
yeah.
There's a big fight scene between Dracula and Wolfman in that. I remember and being like really into it.
Bela Lugosi. Okay, Bela Lugosi. What about know he did a bunch of Dracula movies, but I'm not sure of the title of the other ones. Like, I don't know if there's a Bride of Dracula. Nope, I can't do anymore. Do you have any other in your hopper?
There's more out there. I mean, there's one I think called Ape Man.
Yeah.
Because he did a lot of those, movies back then when he was, broke and stuff. And Plan 9, I was like, oh, is he going to get Plan 9? And he got Plan 9.
Because at first I was like, Martin Landau. And I'm like, oh, but he played Bela Lugosi. I'm like, well, yeah, because Bela Lugosi appeared in those scenes.
I feel like I need to double check Abbott and Costello versus Frankenstein just so I don't get a false point here. Because I'm 99% confident that he's Dracula in it.
All right.
Because it's like Boris Karloff and everyone is.
I'm not going to challenge it, but I think that you should look at it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to look at it because I don't want if I'm wrong,
right?
And someone is yelling at me, and somehow I've gotten another point. This is not fair. In fact, I think
someone writes in and they're like, Tucker is a cheater.
This almost needs a third person to
like
just
fact-checking?
The fact checker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever listened to the podcast Doug Loves Movies. But they play a game called the Leonard Maltin game in it, where Doug will
Bela
read.
Lugosi, he's in it.
Okay,
Yep.
So you got that.
As is Lon Chaney Jr., who I believe, because it's got like all the movie monsters, and then Invisible Man comes in at the very end.
Why is it just meets Frankenstein? Like, why didn't they include all of them?
I mean, because it's already a long title, Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, and I think and it also might just be, and maybe this has changed over time. Yeah, because I also believe the Creature from the Black Lagoon is not in there. I think it's the big three, and then Invisible Man at the end. I don't think Bride of Frankenstein is in it either.
Did you ever watch the movie Monster Squad?
I remember getting the shit scared out of me at the lakes as a kid watching it.
Yeah,
and never going back
movie
to watch it. Now, all I remember is like a scene of like a vampire's mouth.
Yeah,
and like, being like, oh, and then not being able to watch it after that.
It's one of those things that really defined a lot of my childhood because they had a character whose character name was Fat Kid, and that's what they call him.
Fun.
Watch out, Fat Kid.
So 7 and 9, right?
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. John Franklin Candy.
You motherfucker.
That's right. That's right.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Good one. Splash.
Home Alone.
Only the Lonely.
Uncle Buck.
Delirious.
The Great Outdoors.
JFK.
That's a deep cut.
Uh-huh.
Spaceballs.
Nothing But Trouble. Where he plays two characters, twins, a boy and a girl. Oh. I got two more good ones. I got two more real good ones.
Gee, I wonder who's going to win this. I'm searching. All right, I'm going to take my time here then.
Yep.
I'm going to dive deep because you've got a handicap on me.
John
here.
Candy, born on Halloween, by the way, everybody. Fun fact about him. He's also featured on a Canadian postage stamp, owned part of the Toronto Argonauts, which was a football team.
Blues Brothers.
Oh, that was a good one. That was one of my ones. Going Berserk.
Nope, I can't say that one because that's not him.
I'm trying to think of like things where he had just small roles, right?
I'm not ready to give up yet, but I'm getting close.
Yep, I can understand.
So I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here thinking of John Candy because I already said Uncle Buck. I already said Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in the sequel. I already said Blues Brothers.
Correct.
He's not in Follow That Bird, is he? Follow That Bird.
Fuck. Yes. Nice.
Yes.
Nice. He plays the motorcycle cop at the end.
Yes.
In fact, he's got a funny role. So he's got a sidecar, and it's a kid who's been cheated at the Sleaze Brothers Fun Fair.
Okay.
And he lifts the little kid up under his armpits. And he goes, "Is this them?" And he goes, "Yeah." And then he just drops the kid. Great role. Okay. Only the Lonely. I did Deliver. Okay, I gotta think of the exact title of this because this is a good deep cut. Hot to Trot. He's the voice of a horse with Bobcat Goldthwait. Hot to Trot.
I don't know how big of a fan I am of animation, but we're going to keep it in, obviously, because we didn't set those rules. But it makes sense. You're right.
No, this isn't animated. He plays the voice of a horse in a live action movie.
Oh, got it. Okay.
A horse that can talk.
Oh, got it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of animation, though, I think I've got another one on there, but I don't feel 100% confident because it was not my cup of tea growing up.
No, he's not in that. He's not in that. You won. I can't think of one.
Can't think of one. I'm pretty sure he did a voice in Heavy Metal.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have even known that.
Yeah.
For a second, I almost said The Rescuers. I was thinking he was in that, but he's not in that. I was also almost.
You want to know what's really down? It's The Rescuers Down Under. He does the voice of the seagull.
Oh, he is in that. Oh, that's how I got confused. Okay.
Or the albatross, I guess
Albatross.
what he is.
And then I didn't realize that. Okay. And then I thought, I was almost thinking of Dom DeLuise at one point.
Oh.
And I almost said Cannonball Run. And then I was like, oh, fuck. No, that's Dom DeLuise. Mm-hmm. Well, you win 10-7.
Hey, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
You're a competitor, man.
I acquitted myself, I think, well enough. And next time I will come a little more prepared, I think, if I can help it.
And I did just have an hour and a half of warm up with this, so like that's in there.
How angry do you think our listeners are right now?
Oh, there are people who are shouting at their radios, at their Bluetooth speakers.
I'm going to apologize ahead of time to Mikey Sunrum, who I just spoke with about our show yesterday, because he listens to the episode. So, Mikey, I'm so sorry if I didn't. I'm sure you were counting. I guarantee you, Mikey was yelling out names, even in his head at some point.
Yeah. I mean, he probably had a couple Bill Cosby ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like he's a person you play in this, and it would get to him, and then he'd deep cut every time.
Well, absolutely. And he could also name non-American actors that we would just be fucked, right? Like if he, any actor from Japan who's been in a Godzilla film.
If you haven't listened to our episode with Mikey, he takes a deep dive into the world of Godzilla, and I am just amazed.
He was at my place yesterday for a brief moment because we struck the set yesterday, and then the couch from the show is now mine. So I brought it home. I threw out my old couch, and I've got this one now. And so he helped me just get it in. And so then he got to look at the VHS wall. And so we had a long conversation as he's kind of going over it and like picking stuff out that grabs his attention and stuff. And we had a good conversation about it. But he'd be interesting to play this game with too. This is a fun game. This is a really, really good road trip game.
It is.
Fantastic road trip game.
At this point, Tucker, it's almost been an hour.
So could you play this game against a group of people?
Yes. So the way I've done it is this is, so let's say there's 4 of us, right? There's Tucker, JJ, and Mary Kate and Ashley. Okay. JJ goes first and he names a movie.
They would never hang out with us. And I want to hang out with Elizabeth. I don't want to hang out with them. But
so JJ goes first.
Can it be Elizabeth Olsen and Scarlett Johansson?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. But we just killed Ryan Reynolds by accident. And so Scarlett's a little off-put at what's going on, even though they're not together anymore. Right. She feels uncomfortable.
We just murdered Ryan Reynolds.
But by accident. It turns out he's really allergic to sauce, like all sauces. So if I go first and I name, let's say we say Pauly Shore and I say son-in-law, you can't name something. You're out now. And so then it would go to Scarlett Joe, and if Scarlett Joe's able to say jury duty, she's still in.
I see.
But then if Elizabeth Olsen can't name something, and then so it becomes against 2 people. If I name it and nobody else can name it, it comes back. Like once it gets around the horn, you're the winner. Yeah,
that makes sense. If 4 sounds like the maximum you'd want to play that with.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And so it's a lot of fun. Now the Leonard Maltin game, like I said, if you've never listened to Doug Love Movies, it's great because he gives a snippet of the review. So like Leonard says that this movie was hard to watch and should have stayed on the shelf. He gives it, and then he tells you how many stars it gives him. And then they pick categories like 310 to Uma, movies featuring Uma Thurman, or Almost Famous, the work of Edward James Olmos.
I would never want to play this game against Greg Carlson or Mike Schultz.
Oh, they'd be fantastic.
They would crush. Mm-hmm. They would crush. Dan Hassoun as well.
Actually, I'd like to watch them play it, is what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
And then like keep a printout of that person from IMDb and see like, are they going to get all of them?
Right. Yeah. Toby Jones, I wouldn't want to play that game against. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would, but I'd get crushed for sure.
But you never know, because just because somebody is a movie lover, right, doesn't mean that they necessarily are like well versed in one particular actor or actress, right?
I am a man who I have many loves when it comes to art forms. I am polyamorous when it comes to my art that I do, and so like I love movies, but I love other stuff too. And not to say that my comrades who love films don't love other stuff too, but I think they all love him more than I do on some way because you guys spend more time with them than I do. I really do take big breaks, and just because I'm literally just not in the mood for whatever reason. I'm like, no, I don't want to sit down and watch a movie. I want to listen to a podcast or watch a series or play a game or walk around thinking about stuff. Like,
I think that you could also amend this game to say like take like an artist or a group who's got a deep discography, right? Like Beatles songs, right? Or the works of Ween,
right?
You know, and you could get onto that.
I felt really proud of my Bela Lugosi grab.
That was a good one. That was a really good one.
I was looking for a deep cut. That'd be like, okay, this is a well-known actor, but it's tough to bring up because Dracula is the film of his, right? That is his film, period. And then anything else that came after that is just not nearly as famous, except for maybe Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Jennifer Tilly was a good one too.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I mean, did I win on that one?
You did.
I did. Okay, because I was running out too. Bullets Over Broadway was the one that came to my mind. But of course, I've actually interviewed her and spent a lot of time with her. So I've actually asked her about these movies too. So I was able to kind of lean on that. But she was the one who, she talked about Gina Gershon, and so I also got mixed up thinking
Gina Davis, Gina
Gershon. I wish I knew the name of it, but.
Doesn't it make you want to go home and watch some movies too? It'll be like, oh yeah, I want to watch this one and catch up on that one.
Yeah, I mean, really, I just want to like sit and not think for like a couple days if I could help it, but I'll have to wait.
Oh, because now that you've shut down the show, you're ready to just throw her into like.
I'd love to. I won't have that capacity for a little bit, but yeah, that'd be nice. Just to sit and stare at like a wall and be like blah 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 blah.
I am officiating a wedding next weekend that they've told me that they want it to be geek-tastic. And I came up with something over the weekend that is no joke, maybe one of my finest moments.
Okay.
And I've had to enlist some help from some other fellow like gregarious, outgoing performance type people. But this wedding is going to be primo.
Who is this?
This is for Britta and Case.
And their wedding is this next weekend?
This upcoming Saturday.
Man, they're having a tough go of just life in general.
I know. And she called me while I was in Minneapolis. Britta's apartment burned down. And then she called me and she's like, now my car is not working. Can I borrow your car over the weekend? I'm like, you can have whatever you want and whatever you need. So
hey, they're your roommates right now.
Right. Yeah. They're living in my basement. It's always darkest before the light though. Right.
Right.
And really, in all honesty, if your apartment's going to start on fire, there's no better time than right now because you just update that registry with like, okay, well, our air fryer took a crap and all this, and you might end up like streets ahead.
The place that they were living that burned down, had they both moved into it together at the outset? Yeah. So it was like their first apartment together.
I think she was in it for like 2 weeks before he was there.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, if it was a situation where it was one of their apartment and the other one moved in, well, there is going to be the pleasure of getting their first new place together. That they were both there from day one, but that's basically already happened. So
I mean, like,
because they didn't just burn down; they got robbed after that, didn't they?
Yeah, and really, okay. So their apartment saw smoke damage; it didn't see fire damage, but a lot of water damage, where like the ceilings had caved in and stuff like that. And they actually were telling me like it's a pretty weird process. So they had renter's insurance, and a company called Service Masters comes in and they let you in and they say, grab whatever you think you need. And then they catalog the rest. So if they have something that they throw away, so let's say that there is a mattress, right? This mattress was soaked and it's blah, blah, we're going to throw it away. But they write down, it was a king size mattress, this brand, blah, 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 blah. So they do all that detailing for you. Anything that they can save, like clothes, they can put in this special like oxygenated chamber, and it'll take the smell of the smoke out of it. So it's like it's like a vacuum chamber that oxygenates it as well.
Interesting.
And then so you'll get that stuff back, but they also make a list of those things that they're taking. I think she said that they threw away 2 dumpsters worth of stuff from their apartment.
Wow.
And the thing that you don't realize is like they went in and they grabbed what they thought they needed for right now. But like each of them only had 1 pair of pants and 1 sweatshirt. So if you were doing laundry, you're now walking around without pants on.
Right.
And what's cool is they said their insurance guy said, listen, you're going to have to go out to eat. So think if you had this happen in a place where you don't already have a background. Like, so let's say I'm in Chicago and I don't have anywhere else I can stay. I'm now having to eat out for every single meal.
Right.
Because my pots and pans, I don't even have an ability. I don't have a fork to my name.
Right.
So if they buy anything, they save the receipts. If they go out to eat, they save the receipts, and they're supposed to be able to get reimbursed for this in some kind of fashion.
But I'm sure it's going to be a headache, as it already is. It's going to take a long time.
Well, and you're out of pocket until they reimburse you.
Right.
And so what if that's 3 months down the road?
Right.
So they're staying with us right now, which is actually worked out really great because I'm going to Delaware in a little bit and I needed someone to watch my dogs for a week. And I'm like, hey, guess what, you guys? You get the house to yourself, but you're going to watch the pooches.
Yeah, they're nice pooches, though.
Yeah. They're not happy. So as of the time we're recording this right now, there is a tornado warning for this evening. And
I didn't know that.
Big thunderstorm warning that's going to be starting here pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
And we're in like a red zone.
Really?
So we have the.
Am I still going to get my Uber Eats delivery today? We'll find out.
You better get it set for right now.
We'll find out.
So
I got some frozen chicken if I can't get that.
Oh, good. You're not going to lollipop that stuff, right? Like just shove it on a fork and this frozen chicken's delicious.
You think I'm just going to eat frozen chicken on a stick?
Yeah, you've never tried frozen chicken on a stick? It's delicious.
Okay.
I mean, by cooking it, you're just cooking all the flavor out.
Yeah, all that salmonella.
Yeah, delicious.
Yes. Yeah, I remember hearing that you should eat all chicken cold and uncooked. That's right. Yeah.
Tucker, I wanted to tell you, when I was at the Mall of America, I ate at a place called Great Steak, America's premier cheesesteak.
Ooh.
It was not.
Yeah, there's no question that it was not.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to read you a chunk of their menu and get your interpretation on this. So hold on, let me pull it up here.
Are they using ground chuck?
Oh God, it was just awful. Like they don't even tell you what like the meat itself is.
Okay, that's their first mistake.
Premier sirloin steak grilled to order.
Should be thinly sliced ribeye.
So the great steak is provolone, grilled onion, lettuce, tomato, and mayo. The original Philly is Philly cheese sauce and grilled onions. The Chicagoland provolone, white, and Philly cheese sauce, grilled onions, grilled peppers.
I'm not finding anything wrong with those lists of ingredients because you can put whatever you want on a Philly cheesesteak. The base cheesesteak isn't even with onions, I'd say. It's technically, but it's also I'd say the Philly favorite, the standard, is a Whiz Wit. Or like a, and then I always just go for an American Wit anyways, because I think the Whiz gets to be too much for my taste sometimes. But it's really cheese and steak on a bun, but it should be thinly sliced ribeye. I mean, I'm sure sirloin, if you cut it right, it's going to taste fine. But
I don't know. You got to you have to slow cook the shit out of that stuff for it to be tender enough.
Usually if it's not a place that specializes in cheesesteaks, but they offer one, it's going to be ground chuck, which is awful.
This is also a food court, by the way, too. Sure. So just so I'm throwing that out there.
But the notion of America's premier cheesesteak place is just utter bunk.
I know, and
that
I was like,
place is in Philadelphia, and I don't know which one it's going to be, but it's going to be in Philadelphia. It's not going to be outside of Philadelphia. Also,
I started a business venture this weekend.
Damn, you have had a full weekend, man.
My
goodness,
right? So I love spicy stuff. Spicy stuff. And I stopped into a specialty cheese store at...
I don't know why specialty cheese store just made me laugh, but it did.
It did, yeah.
For some reason, it did. See, I would be excited if I heard there's a specialty cheese store. I'd go there immediately. I wouldn't find it funny, but anyways.
So I went into the specialty cheese store, and I said, okay, listen. And there's like, by the way, we have a hot sauce selection. You should look at it. And I went over and looking at the hot sauce selection. I'm like, there's a lot of good hot sauces. And you know what really is the best about it? The artwork on all of these. So, there's one that's called like Kickin' Ass, and it's a donkey, kicking backwards. And there's one called like Atomic Toilet Burner, and it's a toilet with flame shooting out of it.
Right.
I thought to myself, you know what would crush a kiosk in our mall for the holiday seasons that sells hot sauce? Maybe a couple barbecue sauces, but some hot sauces, because we've got some local places that make it. Plus, you can get, everywhere makes hot sauce nowadays. So I called a buddy of mine who's also been looking for a business opportunity. And I said, dude, what do you think about opening a kiosk in the mall? And he's like, yeah. And so I made a couple calls today to some people I know who already have storefronts in the mall. And they said, yeah, they would love something like that. Get on it right now. So I'm going to open up a hot sauce store.
Okay. You heard it here first, folks.
Very excited about it.
What are you going to call it? You have the kind of name that gets used all the time. Like if the owner is named JJ of a restaurant, it's often called JJ's
Right.
restaurant or something like that. You've got the kind of name that lends itself to the brand in some way, but would you be going for something else?
I feel like there's something kind of, because no one, I mean, if it's a kiosk, people are going to be like the hot sauce kiosk, right?
Right.
Which kind of has this, you know, little bit of onomatopoeia to it, right? Like hot sauce kiosk,
Right.
the hot sauce kiosk, or something like that. But I'd love something like, you know, like Uncle Jimmy's barn burner hot sauce and barbecue, something like that. Sort of like there's an SNL skit that I love called Dr. Uncle Jimmy's, and it's a outpatient surgical facility as well as down-home barbecue restaurant.
What if you called it like Too Hot for You?
Too hot for you.
You know, so it's like basically
Yeah,
saying,
saying like,
you don't
you
want
can't handle this.
You can't handle this.
That is brilliant
Something like
marketing
that.
because it's a challenge. Like some guy walks up like, "There's bullshit."
Then you better have one, or at the very least, you should have one hot sauce called Too Hot for
Okay,
You,
so
that it is the one that, yep, this is definitely going to challenge people when they come up and taste it.
I already have an idea, and I'm stealing this from like the old schlocky like horror movie guys back in the day. There's a hot sauce that's so hot you have to sign a waiver before you can buy it.
Does it have like a ghost pepper in it or whatever?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And essentially it's like, this is so hot you can't sue us should you end up, you know, like burning your esophagus.
Right.
Which I mean it won't do, right? Because these are all things that the FDA allows you to eat. But still, could you imagine like that, like you're giving a gift to someone like, I had to sign a waiver to get a hold of this. And the guy handled it with like a tong, like he handed it to me with like some tongs. So, because to me, part of it should be this allure, right? Like there's almost like a mythos that we have to create for this hot sauce spot. Right. To me, my favorite is cayenne pepper and garlic. It's a great combination, and if it's a little more garlicky, it's great on pizza and like, you know, sandwiches and stuff like that. And so
I'm weird. I like the fire sauce from Taco Bell.
do you?
I love the fire
Good for
sauce
you.
from Taco Bell, but it's Taco Bell fire sauce. But whatever, it's fire sauce.
Did you try a Mexican pizza now that they're back? By the way,
No.
I did.
How was it?
All three of them were great.
Right.
They were.
I don't believe you.
They were. I missed them so much. I ate 3 of them in one sitting.
Are they already gone?
Yeah.
So they,
No. The ones I ate, yes.
Yeah.
I've already processed them and
That's-
turned them into stool.
I wasn't worried
and
about
released
whether or
them
not you had
back into the water.
absorb the nutrients of them. I'm wondering, does Taco Bell still offer
Yes,
it?
they do.
Okay.
But they said apparently like they might be going away again, which would be a fool's errand unless they treat it like the McRib.
I feel like it's something that they do when they're like, okay, we have way too much leftover ground beef, quote unquote ground beef. So let's use what takes more ground beef. Well, the Mexican quote unquote pizzas do. So let's use that. Okay,
You also
great.
need the thinnest, sloppiest refried beans ever.
And do you have like stale tortilla shells? Perfect. Perfect.
Here's the thing. I don't know if people remember this, but the Mexican pizza used to have like scallions on the top of it.
Right.
And then they got rid of those. And I'm like, why?
So recently I came to the conclusion, and I should have done this for other reasons than the reasons I came to, but I just, this is obvious, but I said to myself, I need to stop eating fast food so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just because of the health, because for certainly that's a big part. And it's not because of the money, but that's also a big part of it.
My heart has hurt really bad this last week, and it happens to be the week after I ate 3 Mexican pizzas.
Right. The quality of food and service is so terrible. And it's just, you sit in a drive-through line for 10 minutes. Excuse me. Now there's a really good chance your order is just going to be wrong. It just is. And it's also going to be potentially the stuff sitting at the back of the fryer that's been sitting there for a long time. And, they don't give a shit. The employees don't care. I don't blame them necessarily. I don't know if I'd give a shit, but I also would try to do my job well enough. But also, just the experience in general has been so bad across the board. Fast food, you name it. I've had a really bad experience there in the past, 5 to 6 months. And part of me is just going, aren't I going to learn my lesson? Right? It's probably always been like this on some level, but the sodium hit and the convenience factor was just too, oh, yep. I'm just going to do this and do this. I have such a better eating experience when I make something at home or I go to like a sit down restaurant where there's more time that's going to be, it's not always going to be great, but there's just a better chance of it being great. The only time I'll maybe do fast food now, if I can help it, is if I'm going in to sit down so that I can go straight up and go, hey, you guys got this wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And deal with it right there versus picking up some McDonald's, getting home and realize, yep, this is not Dr. Pepper. This is Cherry Coke. This is, not what I ordered. These things are still wrong. And it's hard because clearly this is old food. And corporate doesn't care. Like they're not going to give two shits. And if you want to get them,
if you do complain and they send you, like here's a $5 gift card to make up for what happened to you, they're still coming out way ahead.
Right. And if you do it I can't speak correctly, through Uber Eats or Grubhub, there's a better chance that it's going to get fucked up. And then there's really no recourse for the most part. You can contact the company and more often than not, they're going to go, well, we can give you a $5 voucher, which is not even close to what you just paid. So they're literally telling you, well, we'll cover the tip.
Yep.
But that's it. And so it's just, there's no actually good service through that method. There just isn't. To get good service and good food out of fast food, guaranteed, you need to go in, sit down to eat so you can confront them the moment that they mess it up. And then if they're not going to fix it, you're going to get your money back. Bet that, right? But yeah, every other way, it's just like, you know what, man, I'm spending too much money on what I consider to be convenient, and it's actually nowhere even near convenient.
I had an amazing dining experience last night, like one of my maybe top 5 of my life.
Ooh.
In the Minneapolis area, there's a place called The Butcher and the Boar that closed down during the pandemic, which is very sad. But some of the people from that team reopened a new restaurant in the same spot called The Butcher's Tale, Tale. And I took my mother and father-in-law and my wife there last night, and we had an exquisite meal that was off the charts. I mean, it was so good, and I paid a lot of money for it, but it was worth every penny. And the service was exceptional. And right off the bat, like the menu says, like, we've added a 5% surcharge to help retain and like bring in new employees. And usually that kind of
meaning that's
grinds
like
my gears.
That's like the automatic tip. Is that what that is?
Well, and it's not an automatic tip either. Like, to me, because they're still expecting a tip, I think what it is the restaurant essentially is saying, like, we are now paying them more per hour. Like, we're offering them $20 an hour plus whatever your tip is.
Right.
So we're going to make up for the fact that we're paying them an hourly salary by charging you
I see.
an extra 5%.
Gotcha.
When we think about like 5%.
I actually don't mind that.
If your bill is $100, you're paying an extra $5 for that, right? Like, it's no big deal.
Right.
What bothers me is, like, I would rather that you just put it into the menu prices, right?
Sure.
So if you're charging me $40 for the steak, just charge me $42 for the steak and let it be done.
Right.
Because I think sometimes the staff they're like, well, I already paid $5. And, if you have a $200 meal, they're like, oh, I already paid $10. So I'm going to take that out of this person's tip a little bit.
That whole industry is predicated on the idea that your employees will make a living based off the generosity of your customers, right? I mean, because whether or not they do a good job, it's still up to the customer if they're going to do it or not. And I've heard the arguments on both sides, and I've never worked in food service, right? So like a job where you're getting tips can pay you a lot or a little, right? You can make next to no money or some money. And, but I'm also I've never ran a restaurant, right? I don't know what their spreadsheet looks like. I know that their profit margins are pretty razor thin. And so, I think it's maybe it's situational. Some types of restaurants in some locations lend themselves really well to tipping culture and others might not. I don't really know. So yeah, but I always tip unless I'm like, no, this person was awful. And
right.
They really have to sincerely mess up for me to not tip. And that's because I know this is how they make their money. So I'm going in with the expectation that I'm going to be giving them more than likely.
I see a lot of things of like, pay that, like the reason service is bad is they need to be paid a living wage and get benefits. And I say, okay, well, if that's the case, if you want a living wage and benefits from, let's say, Applebee's, then am I no longer expected to tip anymore?
Right.
So like if you're being paid $20 an hour by Applebee's, shouldn't that be enough for you at that point? And if you want more than that, like, well, now you're telling me that you want all of this money on this side, plus you want me to tip on this. And like, you know, because the restaurant itself is going to say like, oh, we'll pay everyone $20 an hour. They'll be like, sure, we'll pay everyone $20 an hour, but we're going to have the cost reflect that as well. You know, like portion size will go down or prices will go up, probably both at the same time.
Right.
And so, I mean, I don't know anyone who serves right now, but I do know servers who used to come back and be like, I made $250 today.
Right.
And it's because they were good
these types
servers.
of character or these types of customers never tip, right? So they know the ones that I'm not going to get paid by this person.
Right.
I
don't know. That sounds like a discussion for another podcast.
Yeah.
It's time to put this one to bed, and we're sorry if we didn't name your favorite Sam Rockwell movie. That's going to wrap it up for today's show. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help us continue to produce new episodes each week, visit jjmeetsworld.com, where you can donate to our Patreon, pick up some swag at the merch shop, or follow our link to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the sites the cool kids are using these days. JJ Meets World is produced every week by Tucker Lucas. You can find out more about Tucker's work by visiting moonbasemaria.com. If you want to get in touch with your host with the most, check out linebenders.com, where you can find direct contact info for JJ or booking information. What if Gina Davis owned a McDonald's? I bet the service would be amazing.